So I'm off to ABC Radio. I've got an interview with the fabulous Catherine Feeney. She's a phenomenal woman. I mean, if you don't know who she is, Google her. Hard worker. You know, she's got the reputation of being a hard worker. I didn't know too much about her until I had my first interview with her, which it features in a vlog earlier. But yeah, my Uber driver today is none other than...
Hello.
The topic that I want to talk about today is farts. I guess we'll get the conversation going. Yeah, we're going to talk about farts on radio. My bad, I actually didn't introduce. This is Janaea. This is Janaea Johnson. She's a good friend of mine. So she's been kind enough to come pick me up for my interview from my workplace and take me to the interview. Anything you want to tell the people? Anything motivational?
You are more.
Is it culturally specific? And I would love to hear your stories this afternoon. 1300 222 612 is my phone number. You're joined in studio by Gideon Mzembe. And sir, you are, footy player, you've been a pro player, you're an actor as well, but you're also a person involved in gym scenarios. You're a lifestyle coach.
Yes.
G'day.
Correct.
Something happened to you recently, Gideon.
Indeed.
What went down, bud?
Well, speaking on the subject, I am a lifestyle coach, and obviously we train our clients in the gym, and there I was tending to my client, and there was probably about 6 other gym goers within the vicinity of about 3 meter to about 5 meter radius.
Okay.
And I thought I was in the all clear, and I let off what I've just come
to know as SBD, silent but deadly. And yeah, so after about 10 seconds post the event, there was a lot of heavy eye contacts going around, everybody trying to work out who was who. And here I was. I think the secret is to remain neutral.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were the dealer.
Yes.
Of the deed.
Indeed.
That was you, but it was an SBD, so no one knew
exactly
who had done it.
Indeed. Yeah.
But it was done.
It was done. The deed was done.
Hey guys, my name is Bar and I'm a mother of 3. I just finished work and I'm here working out. I work full time, I'm mom full time, and this is where I do me time. So, don't tell me you're tired, don't give up, keep going, you are more.
Well, here I am at Kangaroo Point. The rain has caught me. I was going for a nice little walk, it's my self-talk, self-empowerment. But the rain has decided to fall. It is what it is. Still committed to my vlogging because I'm going to give it to you raw. I'm not going to let the rain stop me. What are you nuts? But I just wanted to share with you something that an epiphany, if you will, that I had this morning upon my self-talk. I was just having a chat with myself, and not in an insane way where you asking yourself questions as if how you doing, this, that and the other, but it's more of a check-in. Where's my time been spent throughout the week? How's it spent? How often did I find myself in an angry situation, in a jealous situation? Because after all, I'm only human, and there is some things that alter my emotions, and I don't know if you can relate, but it's always good to reflect and see where these things came from and how they have the power to alter your state of mind and state of being, and how they alter your state of flow throughout life. So, I did all that through reflection and self-talk this morning. And it had me thinking how far I've come with this whole idea of finding solitude time and the purpose of it. What is the purpose of it? And I've been thinking about other people and their commitments to life. There's people out there that work 12 hours a day, 10, 15 hours a day, and I worry, because they might not have enough time to really see the significance of their existence. Hear me out, if you will. A lot of us who have got a lot of life commitments where we are required to just give and give and give and give ourselves, we start to forget who we are. And we often are remembering what we have to do. What you do is not who you are. You define what you do. What you do doesn't define you. You know, some of us are dealt with some bad hands. You know, life just keeps throwing lemons at us, and you know, and again, you're forced to just defend yourself throughout life. You know, and this is what happens to you. What happens to you is not who you are. You know, and that's what I've come to realize this morning, how true the statement is. And you know, I say it often, if not always, that you are more than what you have become. You're more than what happens to you. You know, I'm reminded by my brother's statement that you speak your mind, you stand your ground, you be heard, be unafraid. I was reflecting upon the things that I've overcame, and you know, that they didn't define me. And if they did define me, I'd still be back there dealing with it. And to take this ideology on board that you are more than what you've become, you're more than what happens to you, it allows you to not be consumed by anger, by jealousy, by hate. You know, you still experience them, but you know how to deal with them because now you're having a different conversation when the circumstances come up. So I encourage each and every individual that hears this, find some time of solitude if you can, and start talking to yourself. Are you speaking your mind? Are you standing your ground? Are you being heard? Are you being unafraid? Are you expressing the trueness of yourself? Or are you tied down to the obligations of life? And if so, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, sometimes, again, circumstances require us to be overcommitted. But really look after yourself, and don't forget the true definition of life is you. It's not what you do, it's you. You are more than what you've become. You're more than what happens to you. I'm back at the rain. One love. Yeah.
I'm Jessica Cashman, and I'm a mum. I'm a fitness coach, and I'm a boxing coach, and I'm based here in Brisbane. My background in the industry started with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu about 6 years ago. I'd come to a place in my life where I wasn't very confident, and I needed something to help build my self-confidence back. So I stepped into a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym, and I was well on my way to building that confidence. And at the start, I said I was never going to have a fight. I'm only doing this for fitness, and I'm only doing this for self-defense. And 9 months later, I got offered a boxing match, and that's where it started from there. I was hooked. I came to those sports in hard times, but through my journey with boxing and jiu-jitsu, it's helped me through the times that have been tough that have come since then as well. And what I've learned as a basis, that if I'm struggling mentally, emotionally, physically, that I really have to go back to the basics in what I'm doing. If I just go into the gym and I just jump into the ring and do some sparring, and I'm not in a good place, the chances are that the sparring's going to be flat. I'm going to get injured. So I need to take myself out of that end production and go back to the basics. I need to start with my shadow boxing. I need to start with my drills on all the basics, with my punches and my hand positioning. And it's the same rolling out into life. I come back to, if I'm not doing well physically and emotionally and spiritually, I come back to, okay, Jess, are you sleeping well? Jess, are you eating well? Jess, are you getting some physical activity? And in every instance, I can guarantee that there is lacking in one or some of those things. And so that's what I find with both of them. It comes back to being grounded. It brings you back to earth and the things that really matter. And yeah, the basics. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And that, coupled with greatness, is a lot of small steps done well. Because at the end of the day, we can look at this big picture of where we are and where we want to be, and it can be overwhelming, and how the heck am I even going to make it over there? But really, all you have to do is have a look here. All right, what do I have to do? I just have to take that first step, and then that's the beginning.
power of perception. Perception, how we see things, not necessarily with our eyes, but how we see and comprehend what's happening to us, what's been presented to us. Hence why I always remind people that you are more than what you've become, you're more than what happens to you. How you see it and what you're experiencing now is not necessarily the way it is. You're just seeing it and the point of view that you've come to understand in life and the comprehension of your experiences, but it's not how you see it. You are much bigger than your circumstances and your problems and everything that you've become. The example that I like to use at the moment is, upon reflection, I realized I'm always telling people, I grew up less fortunate. I grew up poor, I grew up this, I grew up. And then I read something on Facebook the other day. It said, if you have a roof over your head, an income, a bed to sleep in at night, a house, you are part of the 75% of the wealth, along the lines, you're part of the wealthy percentage. I'm not sure about the percentage, but you're part of the wealthy. And then automatically, it altered my perception. Being informed about something that's greater than what I thought I was allowed me to expand on the way I see things and how I perceive things. I didn't grow up poor. I perceived it that way because that's all I knew. And I always put myself in a point of comparison. And this is what we often do is we say, I'm this, I'm that, when it comes into comparison with something else. And that also affects the way you perceive things. It alters your perception. Perception is only how you come to see it based on your experiences. So if you're going through a tough time, if you've been let go from a job and whatever it is, and you think, oh, I've come to the end of my life, this is all I can do, I'm here to tell you that you're dead wrong. And I'm not trying to oppose your way of thinking. I'm just letting you know that you are more than what you have become. You're more than what happens to you. How you see it and how you've come to understand it is just the comprehension. It's just a small perception of how you see it. You're much bigger than that. You're much, much bigger than that. So I urge you, and also take this information when you're presented with people that oppose the way you see things. When someone presents an ideology based on religion or politics or whatever it is, it's only perception. It's not necessarily the way it is. You understand that, you'll spend less time fighting off things and trying to prove a point for yourself, and more time looking inside yourself and discovering that you are more than what you have become. You're more than what happens to you. Change your perception.